brothers and sisters in Christ once more. Again, I have the pleasure of welcoming you to this homily sharing session of the Clarisha Biblical Apostolate. The homily for today will be from the Gospel according to John chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. I read. There was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out and take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although the servants who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then when people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this at the beginning of his signs at Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him. So, brothers and sisters in Christ, this passage of John narrates a miracle by Jesus, but yet centers attention on the person of Mary in different ways. First, she was mentioned before anyone else in the story. Secondly, she is the center of the story. She is the one who noticed that the wine had run out and spoke to Jesus, her son. She then went back to the servants and asked them to do whatever he tells them. So Mary was at the very center of the story. Jesus replied her with what some people wrongly interpret as a rebuke. The reply, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me?" Now, the first thing that strikes the reader is the interjection, "woman." The assessment of the meaning of this expression will be difficult for the speaker of modern English to understand. And this is a typical example of the gulf that exists between the ancient and modern languages in what concerns meaning and interpretation. The Greek expression which is translated by the English "woman" is gynai, and in the Greek this term is by no means disrespectful. This vocative, "woman," is an expression sometimes, in fact most of the time, of respect and affection in Greek. The expression "woman" used in an affectionate way, for example, is found in some notable Greek authors like Euripides, Theocritus, and later in the famous first century Christian work, Shepherd of Hermas. You find this expression "woman" used in an affectionate way. So the expression "woman" in this context has the very opposite meaning of what a modern English speaker would naturally assume. That expression was an affectionate way in which Jesus was addressing his mother. The second expression, which is sometimes misunderstood, is the expression "what concerns you and me," the second part of Jesus' reply to her mother, to his mother. So if you translate this literally from Greek, actually that sentence says, "What is there to you and to me?" This expression is an idiomatic expression that appears both in the Old and in the New Testament. It appears 4 times in the Old Testament, in Judges chapter 11 verse 12, where Jephthah sent a message of the invading Amorites. It also appears in 1 Kings chapter 17-18. We find the expression again where the widow of Zarephath cried to Elijah concerning her dying son. The expression is found Finally, in 2 Chronicles chapter 35:21, where Pharaoh warned King Josiah not to fight him. Now, in the Old Testament, it is not always a warning. In the case of the woman of Zarephath, the widow of Zarephath, it is a gentle plea. In the case of John chapter 2, verse 4, the affectionate gunai which Jesus Christ uses to address his mother should speak to us about the intended tone of this address. Jesus actually was telling Mary that his hour had not come. But Mary